going on, my dudes? Thanks for hanging out and drinking with two dudes and a mic. I am your host, Mike, and as always, I'm sitting across from my favorite dude, Gus. What do we got going on today?
We got a good show today. Got a good guest, and we got somebody we've listened to since we've been listening to him on the radio for years.
I don't want to say like high school because I think he's younger than us.
Probably, but
not by much though.
But a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fucking long time. In studio, we have singer, songwriter, and producer with hits like "In My Head," who's currently working on a new album. This is kind of a tentative title. Richy Nix is dead. Tentative, I guess. He's toured all over the planet and collaborated with loads of artists. To my left, Richy Nix. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Yo, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. So, the way we do it here is we do a shot right off the top of the show. So we are doing this god-awful sanitizer vodka.
We test drove this before the show, and it literally tastes like Lysol wipes.
It is, yeah.
Or
Mr. Clean, or like floor cleaner.
So Richie over here is a smart one who poured out some Wisers. And...
Yeah.
Oh, did you did Wisers? Yeah.
Repping for the hometown.
It could be worse. Here we go. We'll cleanse the palate. So everybody listen, all the guys, girls, all the dudes, cheers.
Cheers.
It does taste like a weird...
It's after some beers, it's a little better the second time around.
That's what she said.
Nicely done. Gus, what are you drinking over there? What is that?
I've got a Frank's Blonde Ale.
Well, that's good.
The
I like
Blonde
that.
Bombshell.
Shout out to Frank's.
Yeah.
That's the first time you've ever had Frank's on the show.
It is.
That you've drank.
It's the first time I've had Frank's.
I think it's the first time you haven't had Honest Lager.
Well, there was beer day.
Oh, that doesn't count. It's like Christmas.
What's beer day?
International Beer Day.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
So it's the first Friday of August every year.
Nice.
Is International Beer Day. So we did a show and we had 20-something beers on the table.
Nice.
And the four of us just pounded and went to town. It was pretty good. But thank you for coming in. We've been looking forward to this one for a while because, like he said in the intro, we've been listening to you for, 15 years?
Yeah.
At least?
10, 15, 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
When did In My Head come out?
Like, I think it had two versions of it. So the one I did with Marty at SLR was, I think, released around 2009, 2010. And then I got a song off that album. It was called Hell City. Got played on 89X like a shit ton of times. Like it broke the People's Choice record, and the song was called Note to Self. And then they put on In My Head as like, oh, he's crowned champ. Let's throw a song in rotation. And then it was In My Head. Then I got signed to Universal Republic, and then I went and re-recorded it with Michael Elvis Biscuit, who's done like Incubus and Alter Bridge, and don't quote me on that, but he's like a really big rock producer. Then they put that in rotation. So then I don't know like when. I think I would say safely to answer your question, 2010, 2011, between there.
So 10 years.
Yeah.
But I was in the scene heavily before that.
Yeah.
And getting like thrown on the Homeboy show all the time. And
Oh, I remember that, the 89X Homeboy show.
Yeah.
It was like Sunday at 10 o'clock or something, wasn't it?
I know we're probably going to talk about 89X today at some point, but...
Yeah, can we clear the elephant in the room?
yeah.
It was the last rock station in the area.
30 years. I literally listened to the first song on that radio station.
Yeah.
And listened to the last song on that radio station.
Which was the same song.
Which was the same song.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Jane's Addiction Stop is the first song and the last song they played.
If I'm being truly honest, I didn't listen to it that often, especially since Dave and Chuck the Freak left.
Right, of course.
But it still hurt, like watching them leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staple, right?
But even more so, watching them leave the country.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a
what
slap
the
in the
fuck?
face.
Yeah. That was like, hey, all you listeners that have been listening to us loyally for 30 years,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, with no
Here's some
lube.
Luke Bryan.
Yeah, so strange. 89X has been, like your presets and your radio.
Yeah.
It's been
First
number
one.
one on every car I've owned.
Yeah.
On every car anybody's owned.
It's just 89X has been one.
Yeah.
And I haven't changed it yet, and it fucking pisses me off when I forget.
Oh, I
and
did.
I sit in my car and I go, fuck.
I sent these guys a video of it. I changed it like the next morning on my way to work.
Yeah.
It's like, nope.
Such a powerful brand in the community of Windsor and Detroit.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you just give up on a brand that like is deeply rooted in so many people? It's insane. Like, at least let it live on a digital platform, or plan something to continue the brand. Like, I understand the platform of radio is struggling, but
Yeah, but they could have put some effort into it to revive it. They could have done something with alternative music and new rock music to make
Right.
it more attractive and more appealing. 'Cause
I agree.
I don't think new rock and alternative is gone anywhere.
No.
What I don't understand
Just
is
the quality of the station sucked.
you have the only new rock station in the area, and now you switch to country to compete with the other 6 country stations in the area. So, like, who was the genius that decided, oh, we're going to switch to country? It makes no sense. No sense.
It's a strange move.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Anyways, enough of 80.
To any local artist, you have a home here.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to lately? What's new? What's new on the Richy Nix horizon?
Running the studio, producing other artists, doing some songwriting, and working on my new album.
I saw you doing a lot of stuff with IC Aura.
Yeah, we produced all their stuff at Red
Yeah?
Dragon. Yeah, so I knew Nick Predrome, the drummer, and I was like, bring your band in here. Like, me and Cody will crush it. Cody Weldon is my engineer at Red Dragon, and he's just amazing. He worked with Marty. He worked with me at Polaris for about 4 years. Then when we got flooded, Marty took him on because Marty's super busy at SLR. And then he did work with him. And then, when I rebuilt the new studio, he came back with me. And it's all love between me and Marty as well. Like, we send each other clients. We refer each other. I think having 2 really good studios in the city builds the scene up more, gives you opportunity to have different style of sound and mixes. But RC Aura, I kind of think we're known to do metalcore stuff and like just do genres that are different. Like if you wanted to do a rock rap album, I'd probably be the guy to go to, and the metalcore and stuff. And I don't know, they just came over and we did a few tracks, and they ended up doing their first EP, and now they're recording some more singles, and things are going good. They're growing a buzz, and there's some interest on Spotify, getting thrown in playlists, which is really good for artists nowadays. And there might be some labels sniffing around. I'm trying to link them up with some people I know, and
Nice.
they're just good dudes. They're really good dudes. They're talented. They're young, so they got the world ahead of them, and they're doing it right. They're investing in their careers early.
I sent you the link, and
Yeah.
right away he texted me back. He's like, these guys are fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of heavier stuff. I'm a huge Kill Switch, Meshuggah. That's the kind of music that I listen to on a regular basis.
So some heavy shit.
Yeah, some heavy shit, yeah. And they're right up there. They're going on my playlist for sure.
Cool. That makes me feel good.
For me, I don't know, I can tell talent where talent is. For me, though, I'm more of I'm a drummer, right? So I like a lot of stuff with really good beats, or a lot of good, a lot of your stuff, you have a very rappy, melodic type of verses. That's the kind of stuff I like.
Nice.
So the new Autumn King song, Power, that cadence that they do, that he sings about, it's Amity Affliction is another one.
I love them, yeah. Good band.
Asking Alexandria, Beartooth, they all have that that rappy rock kind of verse, and then just the super melodic, powerful chorus.
I can get behind that, but I prefer more of an I Prevail, or a Bring Me the Horizon, that singing, that melodic singing, and then that heavy scream.
Yeah.
Bring Me the Horizon is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, for sure.
New or old?
The
new stuff?
Actually,
Both.
I'm into both. They lost me in the middle for a bit when they were transitioning, kind of softening their sound. But I understand it. You don't want to Warp Tour your whole life and just barely get by. Eventually you want radio play. Eventually you want you broaden your horizons and
Right.
Bring Me the Horizon. But anyways,
I didn't catch it.
yeah. So, but I started to just listen to them and try to put myself more in their shoes, and then I just started to really love what they were doing. Their new record, they did some work with the guy that did produced the Doom Eternal soundtrack, and I think the Doom before that. And it's just if you listen to it just sonically, the mix, it's massive. The guitar, the drums are just so big, and then he's adding his melodic vocals that still apply to radio, and people find it catchy. And I think it's a great record, the new one they just dropped. I don't know the name of it, but they got that single Tears, and the other one, there's another single, but amazing sounding album. Just the mix alone is worth listening to.
You're in all that.
Yeah.
Bring Me the Horizon stuff.
They're definitely one of my favorites.
I met Ollie. I was working in Chicago with Johnny K. Johnny K is known for he found Stained, Disturbed. He worked with Megadeth, Plain White T's.
Some garbage bands. Fucking massive bands.
That's a
Yeah,
huge
huge band.
list.
No, I was
So it was amazing experience. Johnny K is a great guy. So the reason why I went there is because the PGA wanted me, the Golf Association, wanted me to write a song for the PGA Tour. It was the 2012 tour. It was the theme song for the whole tour. And then Johnny K was going to produce it with me. So I flew to Chicago. He had this. He bought a 12-story building and turned it into a studio. But each floor was about 2 floors. So it was gymnasium-sized floors, living quarters for bands. The band. Remember the band that did that Michael Jackson remix?
Oh, Alien Ant Farm.
Yeah, they were
Farm,
actually living there, recording some stuff. So I'm hanging out with them while I'm doing the song for the PGA. And he's like, Richie, you just want to hang out here and live here and work and make music. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, here's the keys. Here's the codes for the security. You stay here. When you want to use the rooms, you can use the rooms. If you need my help for anything, or ask an engineer. And so I ended up writing like an EP there for shits, just because he liked me.
What?
And yeah, and I still have the keys. So Johnny, if you for some reason hear this, I still have your keys, bro. But yeah, so that experience was crazy, and I forget where I was going with this, but working with Johnny K was awesome, and that song for the PGA ended up doing, pretty good on the PGA for them. Where was I going with that?
Ollie, you said you ran into
Oh,
Ollie.
yeah, so I'm in Chicago. Thank you for reminding me. I'm in Chicago, and Johnny K's like, yeah, this younger band's hanging out. They want me to go see them. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. And it was Bring Me the Horizon. I'm like, man, I know these guys. I fucking love their shit. Ollie was his very strong accent. When he's talking to you, it was very hard to understand him. Ollie was like the coolest dude. And he ended up having like 3-4 drinks with me. And then I left with Johnny K. He wanted to show me this other bar called The Exit, where it's like open till 6 in Chicago. And like if you go upstairs, there's like these girls will like tie dudes up and whip them in front of everyone and shit. Like this is it's a rock and roll bar too.
What?
Yeah, dude. Chicago's wild. So I'm there, and then all of a sudden Ollie walks in again. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, well, let's line them up. So I had a good night with them, and basically that's my story with Bring Me the Horizon. I don't think I've ever told that story, but it was cool.
But didn't you go on tour with a bunch of other bands too? Like you opened with like Snoop Dogg and Drowning Pool.
Yeah, so I opened up for Snoop Dogg. There was like this show in Michigan. It was in a baseball field. I can't remember where in Michigan, but I'm sure you can Google it.
Fifth Third Ballpark.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So it was me, Pop Evil, and Snoop Dogg. And yeah, he would roll around with like really deep bunch of security dudes, and they'd wear suits, and you could literally see their guns inside their like vests or whatever, like their dress shirts, or they'd wear like suits, like dress.
Yeah.
Like they look like Men in Black style, like dressed up like that.
Who was it? His bodyguards?
Yeah, and there's like 30 of them. And he's just sitting there smoking blunt after blunt after blunt. Like, it doesn't stop with him. And you're like, man, exactly what you think is what that's what you get with Snoop. I think I got to, like, say what's up to him. And I was like, yeah, man, opening up for you. I'm so pumped. I hope you get to hear it. He was like, cool. And he just gave me, like, a little dap. And that's it. And I was like, I got swallowed by security. I weaseled my way out. And, like, I was such a little punk during those days. Not like a punk in a bad sense, but I was, like, just young.
Yeah. And
so everything was so new and exciting. And I thought I won the lottery living in this world, which I did, in a sense. And I was just kind of just so happy and embracing it all. And it was, yeah, so Snoop was a big one. I opened up for Drake at a festival. So it was like Drake, Paramore, and Weezer. Kesha.
MGMT.
I got a good story with Kesha. So it was Bamboozle. It's a big festival in the States, in New Jersey. And our tour bus, which mine wasn't officially a tour bus, we got a RV. We were parked behind, and I brought 13 of my friends from Windsor.
Yeah.
All on the label's budget. I shouldn't have done that. I should have brought like 5 guys in a trailer with our gear. But no, I was like, let's go. Fucking money's never going to end now. So we go, and then we park right behind this big fancy tour bus. Out comes one security guard and Kesha. So we're all like, oh, that's Kesha. We knew her. She had a song popping in the summer that time. She's like, oh, you guys are Canadian? I never kissed a Canadian before. My boys push me right into her. She grabs me, kisses me right in front of them all.
That's amazing.
So then we go to the next bus over. It's Haley Williams from Paramore.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm standing there with my bass player, Jagger. And I'm like, dude, Haley's so hot. I got to ask her out on a date. I didn't know she was dating someone. She had like her publicist, like super fancy shit like that. Like I had none of that. I'm like, man, I need a road tour manager. Yo, Freeman. That's like my buddy. You want to be a road man? Yeah, what do I got to do? I'm like, I don't know, just come with us. We need a merch guy. Oh, the guitar player's girlfriend. Done. Like that's how I did shit. Like I had no clue what I was doing. I pissed my managers off so many times. They managed Pop Evil as well. The Capolinis. Shout out to them. But yeah, so I ended up asking her on a date. Jagger, my bass player, was like my witness. Then it turns out like she had a boyfriend. She just said it to be nice.
You should have said to her, I've never kissed an American before.
Yeah, that'd be a lie.
That's your in. That should have been your in.
Worked for Kesha.
Or your guy should have he should have at least did a wingman.
He's just sitting there staring at her, all like quiet. And he's this big dude. Like, Jagger, what are you doing?
He was intimidating.
Oh, he was in a daze. She's beautiful. She is. And she sings like an angel.
So you watched them perform?
Paramore, I don't think I caught their performance then, but I did at Rock on the Range, I believe. Playing Rock on the Range, remember when you asked me, like, top accomplishments?
Yeah.
I would say playing Rock on the Range would top that.
Yeah.
That was probably my biggest one.
I've never been. You've gone once, right?
I haven't. No,
I thought you've gone.
It was on my bucket list. I don't even think it's Rock on the Range anymore. It's like the Ultra Festival or something, or like
No.
I don't. It still happens. It's still the May 24 weekend, but it's called something else.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Totally Inclusive Audio Experience Festival.
I don't know. But
It's wild.
Yeah, I wish I would have made it to that.
That was my favorite festival to play. That and Rocklahoma. It's crazy how they set
Rocklahoma.
Rocklahoma. Yeah, man.
Nice.
It was ZZ Top. It was 3 Days Grace, me, and then Godsmack, and then ZZ Top was the day after. It was the
Jeez,
craziest.
Rocklahoma.
And they had like petting zoos with gators and snakes and like tarantulas, and like everyone's running around in the mud, and like there's like 50,000 people there.
Holy shit.
It was fucked.
It was Outdoor Fest?
It was outdoor festival. Sirius Satellite was like a sponsor, and if you search it on YouTube, Richy Nix Rocklahoma, there's like a little like documentary style kind of my buddy shot of us, and I was like, I'm so paranoid of spiders. So they're like, you got to either touch the spider on its like butt or kiss the gator. So I'm like, where's the fucking gator? So they bring the gator, and I just fucking kiss the thing right on the mouth. I'm not touching that spider. Yeah, that was a cool vibe too. I got so drunk, forgot what my set was. My manager's finally like, you're on in 5, get the fuck over there. I was wearing swim trunks and water shoes.
What?
And there was 30,000 people in front of me. And they're like, you're wearing swim trunks and water shoes? They wanted me to...
Why were you in that stuff?
Because I was jumping, because in Rocklahoma they had like swamps and shit you can play in.
Oh, okay.
And I was running around with Miss Rocklahoma, or Miss Oklahoma. She's like wearing her dress. We're running around like jumping in mud and shit, and like just playing with animals and just having fun with fans.
Did
Like,
you
just...
ask her out too?
No.
I should have.
No, I didn't.
I never
think we
kissed a
took
Miss
some-
Oklahoma before.
I think we just played in the mud. Just like did some weird shit. I forget.
So what kind of made you start your own studio?
It kind of fell onto my lap when I was living in Toronto with an ex. We broke up. It was kind of bad. I moved back home to Windsor, and I kind of moped around for a bit. It was like a 6-year on and off relationship. It was tough. And then my cousin and my uncle at Polaris, and Polaris is on Drouillard. It was one of the first recording studios in Canada. Lots of big bands recorded there. George Hello, my uncle, he is from Ferndale, Michigan. He was in the scene with Motown. The Who recorded at Polaris.
Oh shit!
There's a lot of history there. So anyways, I moved back to Windsor after that breakup and moping around. My cousin and George were like, come by the studio and just vibe. So I was there, and I kind of just went there every day and started working on new stuff. And this was also after I did all the touring with Universal. So I was on this really high horse, and I come back and then didn't have a tour. Radio play died down. I needed to make new music, but the breakup kind of messed me up. There was some weird label issues as well. So I'm in Windsor, go to the studio, start hanging out. Then shortly after, my uncle passed away from a heart attack. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what are we going to do? So he kind of told me before passing he wanted me to help bring the studio back to life, because it wasn't really like open to business for like the public. Kind of, it was like dealing with their clients, but they weren't growing and marketing and stuff. They weren't active in the scene, so to speak.
Yeah.
So then I decided to repaint the building. We painted a mural of him on the side of the building on Drouillard, and I started running the studio with my cousin and Cody Walden. We did that for about 3 years, I believe, and then we got big nasty flood. If you guys remember all that rain we got, a lot of people got hit hard. So we had a flat roof, and the city, so a flat roof is on an angle and it goes down to the street, the sewage. So if the sewage on the street's backed up, then it just starts to go up the pipe and it fills up on the flat roof. That's not good. Water will find its way in, especially on an older building. We had over 10 entry points of just pissing water. So it just destroyed us, and we sat around for a year trying to get insurance money, and it took forever. And I was like, man, I can't sit here. And my cousin, who was my partner, George Hello's son, was touring with Post Malone, which is a big artist. So his interests were there, and I can understand why he wasn't focused on that. He's on the road, and it's a really it takes a lot of time, and it's your focus is 100% on that. So I was like, I'm just gonna go build my own spot. We can we get the insurance money, clear the building out, figure out a plan later down the road. So I called it Red Dragon Studio because me and my cousin Joe, we call each other Double Dragon from the old video game.
Yeah.
It's an old arcade game. It was on Nintendo and Sega. So it's two dudes. They're brothers. One guy's wearing red kung fu suit and the other guy wearing blue. He's Blue Dragon. I'm Red Dragon. I said, since I'm doing this one on my own, I'm going to call it Red Dragon
Nice.
Studio. And that's, people are like, what is this? Is this like a sushi shop? I'm like, no. Chill. You know, that's not what it is. It's just Red Dragon from Double Dragon. I'm the Red Dragon. And that's why I decided to do it. Just because like I said, it fell on my lap, and then I built this passion for producing other people, seeing a talent in somebody like Alexa Carocha. She's a girl she came to the studio with her mom when she was about 16. The voice of an angel, maybe lacked the confidence. We produced an entire album for her. It's on Spotify. Look it up. We did 2 albums with her now. She's amazing. I would put her talent, her singing and vocal talent, up there with like an Adele. Like just her voice is just there. And if she were the same age as Adele and singing just as long as Adele, she'd be neck to neck with Adele. Maybe even surpass her.
I saw that video you posted on Red Dragon Facebook, on the Facebook page, and you posted of her.
Nice.
And I clicked on it. I was like, holy shit.
Her voice is, so she did like her first album that I produced with her was more like a pop kind of indie, like Lana Del Rey meets I don't know, Chainsmokers almost kind of stuff. Way out of my element. Loved it though. It opened me up to things. It you know, it was definitely a good experience for me to grow as a producer. And then her second one, she kind of, because she's growing. She was 16 now. I believe she's 18 or 19. She wanted to do more like an indie rock album. Cody did more of the writing on that one because it was more guitars and like the indie drums. But I mean, her talent is undeniable. It's just been a cool experience.
Jesus.
And I'm just kind of lost in it all.
Do you guys do all the like instrumentation too?
Everything.
So if somebody comes in like a singer, you can do guitar, bass, drums, everything.
We have another client. She goes by the name of Alexis, not Alexa. Same thing. She comes in. She just has an idea. She has a great voice. We write the music and the lyrics from the ground up, completely producing it for her.
Yeah.
And by the end, she's got a fully presentable project. She can send to labels or perform live. So that's been just so fun for me. But now that the studio's running, we hired on another engineer, Lily. She's a graduate at the university in music. Cody and Lily are doing a great job running it together. You know, I can take time away to work on my album now a little bit. Not completely away from the studio, but just take time away enough to finish this album that I've been working on for 3 years, I think. 3 years.
This one you've been working on?
Like Cody will tell you, I've written way too many demos for this album, and it's just taken forever because like between, you know, world events, working on other people's stuff, lots of things happening, kind of delaying it. But now it's like, no, I gotta get this album out. I have to.
So one of the questions I was gonna ask you is, between Note to Self and Fearless, you had like a 5-year break in between, right? And now here we are again. Another 5 years for the next album. Is that a normal thing for you? Like
no.
It takes you 5 years to create?
No, it shouldn't. So when I wrote Fearless, I went to Marty. There was a label there was a Chicago, Detroit label called Goomba Records. They approved a budget, and me and Marty booked about a month out of it at SLR, and we literally took like just beats I made and turned it into a full album, Fearless. Like, and then those mixes got sent to Joey Sturgis, and then Joey mixed it, and then it got released by Fixed Music because Goomba dropped out, left me with the fucking bill.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Goomba approves a budget. I'm not going to say how much. It's a lot for local artists. I'll just say that. For a label, maybe not, but for local artists to fork out of their pocket, too much. They bail out when it comes to pay the full bill. Like they might have made some payments when it came to pay the bulk of it. Yeah, we lost an account. Like they just kept making excuses. Yeah, we'll cover it next month. And we're like, dude, they're not paying it. It was the weirdest feeling, like to be
What the fuck?
So I'm like, Marty, can you just mix like one track? I'll get us a deal. It's that good. So my dream producer, bucket list producer to work on at the time was Joey Sturgis, who's produced Asking Alexandria, Devil Wears Prada, Of Mice and Men, Emir, so on and so forth. I was like, I'm just going to send him. I literally found his profile on Facebook, sent him a demo Marty mixed. He hits me back. He's like, yo, this stuff's great. What are you doing with this? I'm like, I owe the studio this amount of money because the label bailed on me. He's like, I'll get you that. I'll get you a deal. On my birthday, it was like that month. On my birthday, I get an email. Yeah, we'd love to sign you and cover your expenses for this record and release it. Fixed Music. Cell Dweller is the owner of that label. He's kind of known to do like this industrial stuff. He was an artist and started his own label. Very big on video game stuff. He's done did the Killer Instinct soundtrack for like big artists in the production world.
Right.
Started a label, liked me, signed me, covered my bill, paid Marty, you know, and they put the record out. Got Joey to mix it because they're like, Joey brought us to you. or brought you to us. So Joey's gonna mix it. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. What the fuck?
That's fucking
So, and I've been told a lot in Windsor, like you can't make it out of Windsor. It's way too hard. If 89X won't support you or another radio won't support you, there's no way. It's really not true. I sent a mix, one mix that Marty did for me to a big producer. He listened to it, liked it, and got me a deal in like 2 months. Like, that doesn't happen to everybody, but most people wouldn't take the effort to just do that one first step.
Right. I think in, like, we've said this before, this weird, like, digital age that we're in, you can be anywhere on the planet, and you could submit your music to just the right person, and they'll listen to it and be like, okay, done,
Exactly.
and just sign you up.
Yeah.
Because we've used this comparison before. Justin Bieber did the same thing. He just made some YouTube videos, and then, like, Usher saw it, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that sound means, Gus?
Mid-show shot?
It means time for more booze. So yes, mid-show shot. So we are doing this god-awful lime Smirnoff.
Yeah, it wasn't a good choice by you.
They didn't have the grapefruit that we normally do.
I think I would
You're sticking
rather
with the Wisers?
the Buckley's cherry.
No, I wouldn't. I would rather have this than the Buckley's.
I should have actually switched to Wisers.
Yeah,
you,
go ahead.
You should switch to water. You can barely talk.
Yeah,
I should switch to water. All right, so here we go. So everybody
And this
listen.
is a drinking podcast. Let's go.
Everybody listen. Guys, girls, all the dudes. Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wowza.
You got to do those loud. So you switched over to Frank.
Yeah, I kind of regret it, but it's okay.
What do you normally drink?
Canadian, James Reddy. If I'm going to shotgun beers, Bud Light.
Shotgun. I've never been able to do that. That's where you poke a hole?
Yeah, but have you tried to shotgun a Bud Light?
No.
That's what your problem is. Try shotgunning a Bud Light. It's like shotgunning water.
Yeah.
I was gonna
it's
say
like-
it can't be abrasive.
Have
It's
you ever
very
been
light
like
beer.
super like hot and sweaty and you're like, I'm really thirsty and
Every time I come see you.
I need water really bad. That's just drink Bud Light.
Like
Yeah.
there's this group on Facebook. It's like called the Ontario Beer Chuggers, and they call people out, and then you gotta shotgun a beer on camera if they call you out. Okay.
That's sick. Why are we not doing this?
I might have to tag you guys on it because I've been tagged like so many times, and I got caught at a party with somebody who's a big part of it. He's like, Richie, you're doing one. I'm like, I tried to do one and I failed and I threw it up and I couldn't post it. He's like, dude, we love the fails. I'm like, no, I can't. Not me as who I am. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what were you drinking? Your typical Canadians? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, gives me a Bud Light. He's like, just try a Bud Light. I fucking did it. I'm like, oh my God. I did 3 in a row with him.
I could shotgun a beer all day long.
I've never done it.
No big deal.
How are we on to like a show about drinking and I've never shotgunned a
I
beer?
mean, at the end of the show, when we don't have to talk anymore, I'll shotgun a beer.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll shotgun a tall boy.
A Guinness.
No.
No, you can't actually.
No, don't do that to yourself.
No.
You wouldn't be able
That's
to.
just excessive.
No.
Shotgun.
I think
What do you think that
Canadians are
name
known as
came
better
from?
beer drinkers than Americans, though.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Well, the beer's different here, though.
It's stronger.
It's the cold winters.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
What does that have to do
I don't
with
know.
you?
There's something about living in
Metabolize
Windsor, though.
alcohol.
Like the people that if you live in Windsor, you're a good drinker. You're just like trained to be one. It's like
Is that how we're known around the world?
I've lived in quite a few places and touring and stuff too, and like I was able to outdrink anyone. It was crazy. It was
Really?
like you'll have your alcoholics that like kill a bottle of whiskey, but I mean you're like your average drinkers are like yeah we drink all the time. It's like okay, let's go drinking, and they're all like puking and shit, trying to keep up with us. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I think maybe some of that's to do with our reputation, like being so close to the border.
We're heavy drinkers. We live in a bar town. Like
Yeah.
that was downtown was like we're weekend warriors too.
Yeah.
Work your ass off all week and then turn the fuck up Friday and Saturday, hung over Sunday, go back to work Monday, hate your life Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're back to normal. It's repeat.
That's
Rinse
how
and repeat.
That's how it goes now. So this city, we're known for drinking, pizza, and strip clubs. That's about it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's all we're known for.
And talented people.
And talented,
A lot
talented
of,
people.
lot of artistic, creative people, yeah.
Is the drinking, you said, because we're a border town, because we have to put up with the Americans? Or is
Well,
it?
no, I think there's a little bit of like so you get your 19-year-old Americans that come
Right.
over here and they just get stupid, shitty, sloppy drunk downtown.
Because they're not used to it.
And we start earlier, but we also have something to prove.
I think most drinkers start at like 16, and it's in high school.
I don't remember when. I was younger than that.
I remember to this day the first time I ever got drunk.
Wow.
I do. It was so it was like a high school party. We all got together, and I never really drank. Like I had a few sips of alcohol here and there.
Yeah.
And somebody put Dr. Pepper and cherry whiskey in a shot glass, and I took that shot, and I'm like, that was pretty good. So somebody was like lined up 10 shot glasses, and they started pouring like it was half cherry whiskey and half Dr Pepper. And I shot the first one. They poured another one. I shot the next one. I just kept shooting it, and I shot all 10 of them. They kept pouring them. I went back to the beginning.
Come on.
And I did that until I finished the entire Mickey of cherry whiskey.
What?
And I was wasted and the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. That was the first time I ever.
I remember the first time I got drunk too.
Yeah.
My cousin, my aunt and uncle were getting married, and me and my cousin were in the wedding, and there was this peach fountain, and it was a fancy wedding. So we're like, man, there's peach juice coming out of this fountain. We're just fucking drinking this shit. No one's saying nothing. Everyone was having a good time. All of a sudden, I remember, like, man, I can't see. Mom, I can't see. She's like, what do you mean you can't see? I'm like, I put my hand here, and I can't see it. And then she sees my cousin Matt drinking out the fountain, like, fucking hanging off this thing. She's like, were you guys drinking out of that? I'm like, the peach juice? What's wrong with that? That's fucking peach schnapps. What are you doing? We must have had 10 cups of this shit. Because we didn't know why we wanted more of it.
Yeah.
We just got hyped. They invited a Michael Jackson impersonator to come in and sing in the middle of the wedding.
Wow. Wow.
And, like, this wedding was ridiculous. Like, and remember, me and Matt, my cousin Matt, were, like, and it was his parents that got married. So, we were, like, big fans of Michael Jackson at the time. We're, like, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah,
We were not, like, mature.
Well, that was his biggest fan base.
No comment. So I got drunk off peach schnapps when I thought it was peach juice. It was a fountain. They had a fountain of peach schnapps.
Who does that?
Like, kid you not. And I remember the last time I saw him, he was ralphing out his limo. And I'm like, bye, Matt. I know it's you. And he's like, bye, Ridge. And he's like throwing up.
That's like a $10,000 fountain.
We both got wasted at fucking...
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a bougie wedding. Like, it was, yeah. They were doing all right for each other.
I don't remember I've never been drunk, so...
I remember the first time you got high.
No, I do remember one time I got drunk.
Or rather, the only time you ever got high.
Oh, well, no. I've been high a few times.
Well, I suppose.
I've been high at least 4 times.
At least 4 times in my life, yeah.
At least. Yeah, that was not a good day.
You're like, what's happening to me?
I hugged my knees and I was sitting in the corner and I thought the police were coming. I thought we
Really?
were fucking done.
Was it just weed or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could do it to you if you have too much. You're not used to it.
And then all these idiots are like, "Oh no, that happens to everyone the first time. Do it again."
I
Did
don't
it
think
again.
I
I sat in
felt
the
it
fucking corner of the room at Dave's house, and I was like, "This is horrible."
Sometimes it's just not for. It's like I notice some people smoke weed and they're like they feel so good and they love it. Me, I can get paranoid. Me, I can get lost in my thoughts and not enjoy it. It's just not for everybody.
You were telling me I should do edibles though, or CBD instead of
CBD definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
You won't get high off
for like
CBD.
the anxiety and the
Yeah.
like panic and stuff.
I used to really enjoy it when I was younger. I can't like it's complete and total anxiety attack now.
Yeah, me too.
What, weed?
Any kind of weed, yeah.
Yeah, but you do edibles or no?
No, not really. Like I'll do vapes because I can control it. Like 1 or 2 puffs off
Right.
of it, just give you that like slight
Take the
feeling.
edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take the edge off. But any more than that, it's
fucked.
over. Yeah, it's over.
I could smoke when I'm drinking, like a little few puffs when I'm drinking, but just smoking weed, I just get lost in my thoughts,
Yeah.
and I just don't want to deal with people.
Yeah.
Like, get away from me.
When you went on tour with Snoop Dogg, what'd you do?
I didn't go on tour with him, so I opened up for him twice. I don't think I smoked with him. No.
You didn't smoke
like,
weed?
No, I don't. I stood. The second time was in Toronto. My mom met him, and I brought my mom, and it was like my
Your
mom's
mom met Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, and he was ripped. He was just puffing blunts. It was at there was a clothing company called Roots, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. Roots.
Yes.
And it was he did a documentary where he changed his name to Snoop Lion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he had a show in Toronto where he was like kind of releasing the documentary, and I had passes there. I think I performed, or if I was just invited because I performed from before. I'm not 100% sure, but I was there, and my mom, we were backstage and everything, and my mom got to meet him. It was my mom's a short French lady. And it was just hilarious.
crazy.
Yeah, standing next to Snoop, and it was just so funny. I mean, I can't recall any like really funny highlights. I think just that alone was hilarious. Yeah, like mom. Yeah, that's weed. That's a lot of weed in a cigar. It's not a cigar.
That's what that's how I assume his green room would look, is just like a table with just a mountain of weed just in a pyramid, and you just go up and grab however much you want, roll it up.
Like, it sucks that I didn't get to really have like a personal kind of conversation or vibe with him. It was more like he's just like in his world, and he's protected by a bubble of security. And if you get in that bubble, it's just like so awkward. You don't feel like you can just be like, "What up?" Like the one I opened up for him in Michigan. I was like, "Man, I opened up for you." He was like, "Yeah," and he just looked at me and just like, "Cool." Like, now
He doesn't even remember where he is.
I don't think he even like cared. Like, he was a nice guy. Like, he wasn't a dick to anybody ever that I saw, but he didn't need to be when you got like 30 strapped motherfuckers standing around you all the time.
I mean, that'll happen.
Ready to pounce. Like, you could just smoke and be nice to everybody. Somebody cross the line.
Yeah,
you don't gotta be rude.
You don't fuck with Snoop's bodyguards.
Like, I found that really, like, I was like, I've seen him and Drake had the most security I've ever seen. We were behind security, backstage. Drake's hiding on the bus till he had to perform. I don't want to say hiding. That might sound rude, but he wasn't coming out, and like everyone else, like was out, talking to people and socializing. He was on the bus right when he had to perform. Right when he walks off the bus, circled by security. Like, we're already in behind security clearance. Like, and then he's just followed by a bubble of security to the stage, performs, same bubble, brings him right to his bus, and he left.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like trying to say, yo, we're from Canada, bro. What's up?
You know what?
Didn't even acknowledge us. Like, just like, see ya.
I think for him though, he's got a lot of enemies. Like Kanye West, they can't even talk about each other.
Really?
They have a lawsuit against each other. Kanye cannot say Drake
Wow.
or talk about his family or anything, and same the other way around.
That's
so like the
strange.
beef is pretty real. So I don't know if he's just paranoid.
That was like it was 2011, I believe. Bamboozle. Yeah, like he.
I don't know when it came out.
He had that song Forever. This was like he was big, but not that big. Like he's way bigger now. But I think I don't know. Maybe he was portraying himself to be a little bit more of a gangster than he really is, and then he had.
See, I would see it the other way. Like, this dude's a Canadian dude, and he goes and plays a show in the States, and he's paranoid, and he's got this massive amount of security around him or something. Like culture shock, right?
Yeah, kind of like that. Well, he did portray himself to be kind of a thug a few times in his songs, so maybe like that attracted the wrong attention. I don't know. I don't know much about him like that. Like, it's weird. People assume I do. I just really don't. I'm more like Wu-Tang and Nirvana, or Deftones and Helter Skelter, or Mobb Deep and old school Eminem. And I listen to a lot of metal, heavy metal, metalcore, deathcore, and just like more old school hip hop. I don't like the current state of hip hop right now. It's gotten really redundant, and I like more from like the late 90s, early 2000s hip hop. That's like my favorite era of hip hop.
Have you heard the new Deftones?
Yeah, actually, I brushed through it real quick.
Okay, what do you think?
From what I heard, it sounded like they're sticking to what the Deftones are. I don't know. I heard like 3 songs maybe.
Okay.
You don't seem like you liked it.
I don't know. We talked about this last week. I didn't like it.
So I was listening to it on my Amazon like speaker. Like it's not a really good speaker to listen to music on. On the first 3 songs I heard, I was like, this sounds like Deftones, and I'm happy they're sticking to their sound.
A weirder version of White Pony. Like, not...
See, I haven't
For me, it was Around the Fur and Adrenaline, and those albums were the ones that really got me.
White Pony's my favorite album. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a good album.
What's your 2 favorite Deftones songs?
Holy Jesus.
My Own Summer and My Own Summer, which is like Shove It, whatever. My Own Summer.
Oh yeah.
And
For me, it's My Own
Passenger.
Summer, Passengers, yeah.
Passenger for sure, but for me, I would probably say Bored and Passenger are my 2 favorites.
Not My Own Summer?
No.
My Own Summer and Changes.
Yeah? In the House of Flies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Own Summer and Changes for sure. Those are My Own Summer is not on White Pony, but White Pony is my favorite album.
Yeah. My Own Summer's Around the Fur, but I like I like Be Quiet and Drive. That's a good one too. I mean,
Swerve
My
is a
Own
good
Summer's
song.
good. Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, something about Bored is really good, and Passenger. I mean, when Maynard comes in, like, fucking come
I
on.
just love that they did a song together.
Jesus Christ.
That's
like,
a great song, yeah.
I just love Maynard.
They're one of my favorite bands. They're up there.
Deftones?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen them?
I got to play, they were at Rock on the Range, and the crazy thing is when you play Rock on the Range, they set up this massive tent where all the radio stations, the rock stations, set up their own setups like this, like a podcast almost, and the bands have to wait in line, and you do an interview
Holy shit.
with each station. So you get like a call sheet, and you're like, yeah, you got to be at the opening of the tent at this time. The person who was right in front of me was Chino from Deftones.
Oh, come on.
So I actually got to sit in on like 3 or 4 of the interviews together. Like, yeah, we'll just put you guys together. The new guy and Chino. So like the new guy, Richy Nix, he's new, blah, blah, blah. He's got a new single in my head, and then Chino. And I was just like sitting there looking at Chino. Like, bro, I listened to you all through high school. Like, you were like the shit. And he looked the same, like fucking plaid shirt tied up to the brim.
Yeah.
The hair. Just Chino and just chill and just like
Wow.
almost like godly kind of figure, you know, where like Deftones is a band that's never left the mystery. They never uncut, like, lifted the veil. You almost
Right.
there's they've always had that mysterious vibe to them that makes it so intriguing. I think that sometimes bands they start out with that and then they lose it.
And you know what? Incubus is one that had that.
I love Incubus.
Certain Shade of Green, they started with that kind of mysterious, like nobody really knew who they were, like, or knew the people behind the music, and then they did, you know,
It's
Morning
hard with
View
social
and-
media though now, right? Because everyone has to have the fucking shit, right? They
Yeah,
have
of
to have,
course.
and they gotta post frequently, and if they don't, they miss out on all types of opportunity and you know, just having their streams and stuff up. But like Deftones somehow still remains kind of mysterious. Like, we all know Chino, we all know what he looks like, we know like about the story of some of the other bandmates, but there's still that mystery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it's
like,
true. There
it's
is.
like what do these guys do? What are they, you know what?
But mega successful, like
Yeah.
massively successful.
And to be that successful and still have that fucking teaspoon of mystery left is so cool. I love that about rock bands.
There's not a lot of them that have that left, though. There's very few. All right, Richy Nix, thank you for coming out and doing this with us tonight. This has been fucking fun for us.
Yeah, it's been a good show.
This has been really fun
Yeah.
for us. So before we go, though, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
First of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. If
No
you want to
worries.
get a hold of me, just any social, just spell Richy Nix, RICHYNIX on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, YouTube. It's just Richy Nix and it'll come up.
And we're going to plug a bunch of that stuff, too. So check out our socials, and we'll have all the Richy Nix stuff posted. Gus, if they want to get a hold of us, two dudes, how do they do that?
twodudesandamic.com, or search us on Instagram or Facebook for Two Dudes and Mike. If you go to our Instagram, go to the link in our bio. That'll take you anywhere you want to go.
So here we go. So grab those glasses, raise them high. Everybody listening, guys, girls, all the dudes, cheers.
Cheers.